When I say the phrase, the black community, what do you think about? Do you think about fried chicken? Do you think about gospel music? Do you think about Booker T. Washington? Do you think about Martin Luther King? Do you think about HBCUs? What do you think about when I say the black community? What about rap music? All of these things can be used to describe certain parts of the black community, but they don't all embody all the culture of the black community, because not all of us can be put in this particular box. Even with politics, where most of us vote Democratic, but that's even starting to change. What I'm trying to say is black people are different, no matter how you slice it. You have some people who are LGBTQ, you have some people who are married in interracial relationships. Black people are just as different as everybody else. And when it comes to, let me say, controversial topics like reparations, even we have those who differ on the subject. And that brings me to the content creator Shay Sharday. Now, I collaborated with her about 2 to 3 years ago. She reached out to me and I decided to do a stream with her. And recently she's been coming after Tariq Nasheed about the whole reparations thing. And she reposted a video clip of what Tariq Nasheed said some time ago.
When people get their reparations money, they can do anything they wish with it. If you get your reparation money and you want to go buy a big bucket of crack cocaine, you should be able to go buy that crack cocaine and smoke yourself into a frenzy.
So on October the 4th, she goes, apparently using cash reparations to purchase crack cocaine is on code. This is why America considers black folks' fight for reparations a joke. She isn't the only person that feels this way. A brother called into Tariq Nasheed's show just the other day and had a very similar complaint.
So last time I called, I said, listen, I was watching the Dr. King speech. He said, listen, I've been to the mountaintop. Listen, I ain't gonna get there, but y'all gonna get there. And I think reparations, it should be a selfless thing. Like our aunts, like our great grandchildren, they should get that shit, not us. We shouldn't spend that shit on rims and Gucci and all that shit.
Now, let's get into what you're saying about reparations. You think that reparations should go to the grandkids because we're going to buy rims and Jordans and stuff, right?
I didn't personally say that, but I'm saying that we got, listen, a lot of us, like I said last time I called in here, we got a lot of phenomenal black people who are going to do great things with money and the reparations. But I think we got a proportion of us that's going to do messed up things. And, you know, and I'm concerned.
Okay, listen, what's wrong if somebody gets a reparations check? What the hell is wrong with them getting rims and Jordans?
I will tell you why. Because our ancestors and our great-grandparents who marched in the civil rights movement, they didn't think like that. Dr. King took a bullet to the head because he said, look, I'm not thinking about myself. Y'all gonna get to the promised land. They thought selflessly. So I'm saying, if you want to get all our ancestors did all that marching, they did all that stomping and abuse, and you want to sit here and buy whatever you want to buy, Jordans, whatever it may be. I'm not saying all of us going to do that. I'm talking about the slight majority that's going to mess.
Got it. Well, what our ancestors didn't do also, they didn't take the bullets and march and fight for us to get nothing.
Her second complaint that Shay Sharday has against Tariq Nasheed or other people in the hashtag FBA community is their disdain and hatred towards other black groups, most notably those from Africa or those from the Caribbean. Now, of course, there were some Nigerians that celebrated Nigerian Independence Day. I have been a part of Nigerian Independence Day celebrations when I lived in Europe. I had fun. I don't have any problem with it. But again, because of the migrant crisis and all of that's coming down the pike, and when you have these Haitian migrants doing things like this.
No more hate! 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 We're not going back! Let's go! Let's go! No more hate! 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 We're not going back! We're not going back! We're not going back! No more hate! No more hate!
it kind of pisses off certain people because, hey, you're celebrating your homeland, but you're in America and you're able to possibly qualify for the same things that we can qualify as African Americans while still being able to claim your Nigerian heritage. But if we were to go to Nigeria ourselves, we're not able to qualify for those things, and it's not fair. That's kind of how some people feel. And she was kind of going back and forth with people about her disdain for folks like that. Now, let's look at some of the posts she's been making. Shay Sade, celebrating Black American culture is great, but we don't have to disrespect other Black cultures to do it. I celebrate Black culture in all its variety. I'm not here to delineate over silly social media beefs that don't translate into real life offline. Then you have people here, like calling her a goofy ass 304. Then you have this guy, the Great Top Rank. This is why we're delineating there. It's only one Black culture which derives from an American people. We are not disrespecting anyone. We are just calling it how it is, setting the record straight for all of those who are confused. Now, she shared a very controversial message from a Jamaican brother who decided to comment on this beef between FBA and the other parts of the Black world.
Big up, Twitter, what up? Twitter, what up, man? Andre Guns here. I make videos all over the internet and all over the place. You know what I mean? But this is just for Twitter. First and foremost, let me say this. I love my Black American people. I love my African American people, my Black American people. Whichever way you want to identify yourself, that's up to you. I love you guys. Why? Because I'm a Jamaican and I came to America. And if it wasn't for the strong civil rights like MLK, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Huey Newton, Harriet Tubman, whatever, I wouldn't be here. So thank you. Thank you to my beautiful Black Americans. Now, let me specifically address FBA, Foundational Black Americans. This acronym started by Tariq Nasheed. That is literally just an online Twitter-only cult that's xenophobic and is right-leaning to help Donald Trump get elected. Stop it. Stop hating other Black people, other African people, just because we were born in another country. Let it go. At the end of the day, we're all Black Africans. I'm African, you're African. You're just denying it. We're all African people. We're all beautiful Black people. The Black diaspora is the most beautiful thing on the planet. I've been all over the country of USA. I've been all over the Caribbean, been all over Africa, been all over the world. And Black people, African people, are the most beautiful people. We're literally the same. You put a drum in front of us, we dance the same way. The women all look beautiful and gorgeous, nice bodies. You know what I mean? Black strong men, look at our hair, right? Let it go. Let go of the hate. You're African, just like me. You're not Native American, you're African, just like me, but you're born in America. Love each other. Love each other, okay? Thank you. I'm not gonna take too much time. This is just for Twitter. I'm gonna go back to work, but I just wanted to say, let go of the hate, right? Big up all Black people worldwide, big up all African people. Let's all build and connect. Stop the division. This goes to some of them South Africans that hate Nigerians too. Black people, let's all get together and build. At the end of the day, we're all African, all right? So big up. FBA, let it go. Stop being an online Twitter cult. That's only on Twitter. Let it go. Big up Black people, right?
I believe he's saying that the FBA group is being created so they can vote for Trump. I guess that's what he's saying. But to be honest, I can understand that, yes, there is some unnecessary problems online between certain groups that definitely should not be there time to time. And she even talks about it here. I don't identify with the trademark. So from that vantage point, I'm not. And definitely not FBA. So she's trying to say that, hey, Tariq Nasheed is trying to monetize this trademark, which she doesn't want to, basically be a part of. But you know what? Shay Sade does not live in Africa. But I want to read more into some of her tweets. This person goes, not to mention most Black American ancestors are Nigerian, nothing but ignorant. And she goes, literally like spitting in the mirror. Then you see her say, for those people who were upset at Nigerians for celebrating Independence Day, she put this: if you're a Black American who's upset at Nigerians celebrating Independence Day, but have nothing to say about Cinco de Mayo, St. Patrick's, Diwali, Chinese New Year, Oktoberfest, need to check your bias and internalized racism. Let me just say this: I live on the continent of Africa and have been here for quite some time. and it is really good to be here. I've had a marvelous time on the continent. It's been some of the best times of my life living here. It's also been some of the worst times of my life living here. And although I don't always share that, I would like to share part of that today. And most of us from the African American community, of course, we make mistakes like anybody else. We are not perfect. But one of the things is there is so much pressure on us to try to work with the rest of the Black world or the rest of the African world. And nobody delineates more than Africans. And I would even say some parts of Caribbeans, okay? I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but it's the truth. Delineation means that I am this and you are that. And that's nothing wrong with that. Whenever I see, we see a Nigerian Independence Day, I participated in it. I've had fun. Nobody's ever disrespected me. I love going to the parties. I've put my own money in Poland to help the brothers in Nigeria get their party across because, hey, when you're in Poland and you're Black, you might as well be Nigerian anyway, because that's how people look at you. You're still Black. But to be honest I've noticed that there's so much pressure on our community to work with Africa. And there's never a lot of push from other communities to work with us. And I felt like there's always some pressure for me to become more African. I'm a true African. I return to my roots. And that's like, I need to understand the culture of Africa. I need to understand how they do things. And maybe like the way that I was doing things before was wrong. And I need to somehow prove myself into their society when, you can end up getting used like that. And it's always, in my honest opinion, not what the rest of the African world or the Caribbean world can do for each other or for other brothers and sisters, but the pressure that is mounted is what can we do for everybody else, and while everybody else gets to keep their own lineage. Again, when a Ghanaian does good in school or in college or a Nigerian or a Haitian, and I support all of that. I mean, I love our brothers and sisters. It's Haitian excellence. It's Nigerian excellence, it's this and that. And of course, we can't participate in these things, and we understand that and we still root for them. We saw that delineation during the Olympics with some of the Jamaican people, right? And I'm going back and forth on Twitter. And the reality is that you always are paying a cost. I live here, there's so many people that can help you and they don't, but they want your help. This is not everybody, but hey, if you're not the right tribe, hey, they'll come into whatever you got popping, and when it comes to whatever they got popping, they can keep you out of it. Well, what do you call that? It's called delineation. And yes, there are Africans out there who are willing to give brothers and sisters, let me just say, some level of parity, but I live in Africa. You don't get parity. Okay. In the perfect world, maybe Shay Sharday has friends that give parity, but I can tell you, living on the continent, going to a lot of African countries, spending a ton of money here and doing things, you're operating at a disparity because it's you trying to work with the Black community everywhere, and people just don't look at you like that. Okay. It's hard for this whole idea of pan-Africanism to sometimes come about when people look at each other as not even Ugandan, but I'm from Buganda, or I'm from Nkole, or I'm a Choli, I'm Etasalt, or something like that. That's how they view themselves, right? Not even as a one full person. And so you're a person, that's trying to come in and maybe work with them where they're at, and they look at you as a Muzungu, as somebody's white. And then when they come to America, it's, hey, they're not there for you. They're there for themselves. And again, they don't understand your issues. So when you're not doing well and they start doing well, they're going to say, well, you're lazy. Why are you not doing well? Now, if I were to say something like that in Africa, they want me out, right? Because how dare you say that? But it happens a lot. And it's just that we're not going to understand each other's problems because we don't live each other's experience. And if you're not willing to give for what you want to get, then you're going to have these issues. And the problem is, and it can be going both ways. I'm not saying that we don't want to give to them either and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, I feel like there's so much pressure on the diaspora to get in touch with Africa, your long lost mother, and do great things for the continent, where it's like, well, what do these people want to do for us? And is it just us giving? And I feel like that's the kind of relationship that we have with the continent of Africa. I feel like that's what the call that a lot of these countries want when they say, hey, come back to Ghana, or come back and do things in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is probably the only one that gives you some level of trying to establish yourself there, but not much. Ghana's not doing it. You know, it's all about what you can give someone else. And I just think that at a point, we're all black and, you know, we have this and we all come from the same this or whatever. In theory, it sounds good, but why do black people feel like they're not getting that from the other blacks around the diaspora or around Africa? Because if they did, you wouldn't see this thing, okay? Or vice versa. It could be different on the other side. And the reality is just that we are not giving each other enough value, and that's why you see the situations that we have now. And again, in a perfect world, what Shay Sade wants to say that the division is not really there, and I'm here to tell you the division is there. The division is there and it's big time. Okay, maybe not within your friends, but it's big time. You know, I go all across Kenya. I'm in South Africa, and leaving us out of it as blacks. You have border beefs all the time between African countries. I don't even want to name them out of fear for my own safety, but it's there. And I'm talking about those border beefs in certain communities, whether it's the East African communities or if it's in ECOWAS, without us even being present, and it's there. So this whole idea that we're all black, we need to work together. You can only work together if there's an incentive to work together. And right now in the Pan-African world, there's just not very much incentive amongst blacks. So that's why you start getting delineation. Because if something only benefits one group and not the other group, then why are they working together? And I'm sorry, that's just kind of how I see it. I've been here for a certain time. I've seen, I've gone, I've come. And as much as I love the place, that's one of the most disheartening things, that people are not really trying to work with you to build a better black world. People are looking at things for themselves until we realize that we're going to have a problem. And that's why I have a new theory called pan-Africanism with extreme delineation, meaning that we are the FBAs or African Americans, or we are this distinct group and we are separate from you as another group. That don't mean we need to disrespect you or whatever, but we can do pan-Africanism if there's a mutual benefit and if there's parity. If there is no parity, then we have no business doing it. But for those who want to have parity and have equal partnerships, then we can collaborate. We shouldn't have to collaborate out of disparity, which is what I get a lot on the continent. And it's sad. I've talked about it on my other channel. Nobody wants to feel used. And that's even for the African brothers. If they're given to the community, to our community, and they feel the same way, it could go both ways. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, LCD Jackson, back at it again with another episode here. Appreciate you for all you. Just stir the bell. We're out.